Gospel reading for today, March 17th, 2026, Tuesday of the fourth week of Lent. A holy gospel according to St. John. There was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem, at the sheep gate, a pool called in Hebrew Bethesda, with 5 porticos. In these lay a large number of ill, blind, lame, and crippled. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there, and knew that he had been ill for a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be well?" The sick man answered him, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. While I am on my way, someone else gets down there before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your mat, and walk." Immediately the man became well, took up his mat, and walked. Now that day was a Sabbath. So the Jews said to the man who was cured, "It is the Sabbath, and it is not lawful for you to carry your mat." He answered them, "The man who made me well told me, 'Take up your mat and walk.'" They asked him, "Who is the man who told you, 'Take it up and walk'?" The man who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had slipped away since there was a crowd there. After this, Jesus found him in the temple area and said to him, "Look, you are well. Do not sin anymore, so that nothing worse may happen to you." The man went and told the Jews that Jesus was the one who had made him well. Therefore the Jews began to persecute Jesus, because he did this on a Sabbath. The Gospel of the Lord. Gospel reflection. In today's Gospel, Jesus performs a remarkable miracle that reveals God's compassion for those who suffer. This story reminds us that God's mercy goes beyond human expectations, traditions, and limitations. Today's Gospel recounts one of the miracles of Jesus that took place at the pool of Bethesda. This pool was surrounded by 5 porticos where many sick people gathered, those who were blind, lame, or paralyzed. They waited there with hope, believing that the water could bring them healing. Among them was a man who had been unable to walk for 38 years. For a long time, he remained beside the pool, hoping that someone would help him enter the water so that he might be healed. Yet he had no one to assist him, and each time the opportunity came, someone else would reach the water before him. When Jesus saw the man and learned how long he had suffered, he showed compassion. Even though the man had no one to help him into the pool, Jesus healed him and told him to rise, take up his mat, and walk. Immediately the man was restored and able to walk again. However, this miracle happened on the Sabbath, the day of rest. According to the strict interpretation of the law, carrying a mat was considered work and therefore not allowed. Because of this, the scribes and Pharisees questioned the healed man when they saw him carrying his mat. The man answered that the one who healed him told him to take it up and walk, though at that moment he did not yet know that it was Jesus. Later, when the man met Jesus again, the Lord reminded him to turn away from sin and live a renewed life. Afterward, the man informed the Jewish leaders that it was Jesus who had healed him. This gospel shows that God's goodness continues to overflow even when it challenges human customs and traditions. While rules and traditions have their place, the greater commandment is always love and compassion. Doing good for others must always prevail because it reflects the love of God that is meant for everyone. As we continue our Lenten journey, may we also strive to become instruments of kindness and goodness to the people we meet each day. Like Jesus, may we bring healing, hope, and compassion to others, showing that God's love is alive and active in the world.